Grayson Report. Happy Monday, or happy Cryptid Monday as I'm calling it today. How's everyone doing? What is up? Tammy, DeLay, and Carol, how was your weekend while we wait for people to trickle in? What is up? Did anybody watch anything interesting over the weekend? I'm still trying to finish the Menendez, the monsters, the Eric and Lyle Menendez story, or whatever it's called, on Netflix. I think I have 2 episodes left. I also saw that they were going to actually have a documentary about it as well, which I think is a little more true to the story than the monsters documentary. I think they kind of they took some liberties on that, so I'm kind of not it's okay, but I felt like the one about Dahmer was better. Julissa, what is up? Trixie, how's it going? Logical Spark, what is up? Emily Parkinson's, how's it going? And then I pretty much have been watching true crime docs. Married to Evil is on Max. Right now is the one I'm watching. Joanne, how's it going? How was everyone's weekend while we wait for people to trickle in? I'm just talking about what I watched or what I've been watching. I haven't seen any movies. The last one, like I had said previously, was In a Violent Nature, which is on Shudder. I was disappointed in it. It wasn't what I was expecting. It is in the viewpoint of the killer, so if you do have Shudder and want to check it out, go for it. D Nice, what is up? Chris, how's it going? Scully Star Fashions, what is up? I am doing good. While we wait for people to come in, I am going to Chris goes, my team is sucking tonight. Oh, that sucks. Julissa goes, I'm still cooking dinner, so I'm going to be listening right now. Oh, that's super cool. What are you cooking, Julissa? While we're waiting for excuse me, while I'm waiting for people to trickle in, while we wait for people, I'm having an after shake. That sounds good, D Nice. You know how I've always said that I don't really care for CGI in movies. I'm more of a practical effects person. Don't get me wrong, I have seen some great films that have used CGI, but then I saw this, and I don't know how I feel about this. Lionsgate hires AI firm to create their future content. And I get it. It's all about AI right now. In fact, you got to be careful when looking at images because you don't know if they're real or not. Even some people creating trailers to some movies, you're like, oh my god, that looks so cool, and then you're like, oh, it's fake. So it's like, I get it. It's the sign of the times. It's the direction we're going. Technology has improved greatly over the years and will continue to improve. So I get why they would adapt AI, but I don't know how I feel about it. In a history-making deal, Lionsgate has partnered with AI firm Runaway to build exclusive AI models on its own film and TV library. Didn't Fran Drescher fight against this during the last SAG strike? Maybe it's not the same thing, but who can tell? The language with this partnership is almost impossible to understand. Michael Burns, Lionsgate vice chair, is so vague about its precise use, the reading between the lines is almost incomprehensible. He says Runaway will be used in the pre-production and post-production process and augmenting, enhancing, and supplementing our current operations. Huh? The studio has been struggling, and this partnership may be its only lifeline. Movies such as the Crow remake. I have not, for those of you guys that buy movies and want to check it out, it is on VOD now. I'm gonna wait for it to come on streaming. I will check it out. You can't really say something bad about a movie unless you actually watch it. So I will check it out and I will let you know when it does come to streaming. Imaginary, Boy Kills World, and Borderlands were all failures, but Lionsgate have some solid franchise too, such as John Wick, Saw, and The Hunger Games. However, a few popular IPs probably aren't enough to sustain a studio struggling with inspiration, and with Runaways bot having access to Lionsgate's entire library, it could be used to cull past films to create stories on its own. So it seems like with this, like they're totally bypassing human and human interaction, and they're going to use AI to come up with stories, if I'm reading correctly. I don't know how I feel about this. What about you guys? um, Nothing replaces a human. Um, and I know sometimes we lose our creative process, but still, I mean, I don't mind if you use it as a tool to get inspiration, but to use it 100% of the time, I don't know. In fact, IndieWire talked to an insider with knowledge of the deal, and he said top of the mind of Lionsgate's an opportunity with previs and storyboarding. For example, if Liongate, there's only one, is weighing a green light for John Wick 5, Runaway could use the first 4 Wick films and the spinoff to train an AI text-to-video model. When prompted with a script for John Wick 5, that model could then generate a more realistic storyboard approximation of the film. Leadership would use that to make their decision. So I feel like it's like, why do we need people then if you're going to use that? Joanne goes, yay, no. Or yeah, no. Delay Alex goes, wow, isn't that why SAG was protesting for? I would not want fake content. Me neither. I get using it for inspiration maybe, but it looks like they're actually like replacing a person completely and having the AI completely do the storyboards and everything. Like, come on, really? As much as some fear the use of AI in the artistic space, there is no question that it is here to stay, or at least for the time being. The technology can create almost anything from writing and performing songs to art to now movies. Unlike CGI, where the creator goes in and manipulates an image by hand, AI could do it all by itself. So you're basically saying that you rather use a computer and get rid of the person. That's how I feel, but I get that's where we're going. Um, in fact, with like Japan with the robots. In fact, they're using some robots here. I get it. I get it. It's the sign of the times. It's the way technology is. It's technology is the thing. But I feel like to replace a person with a computer, both can make mistakes. So I don't know. I feel like we're going into Terminator here with Skynet and all that. And in this fast growing technology age, it only is a matter of time before it's so convincing the term uncanny valley and de aging will be a thing of the past. Filmmaking has been around for just over a century, and in that time, we have seen advancement using celluloid itself. There have been innovations in camera equipment and sound design. Even the projection of the movie itself has been reformatted for modern times. Perhaps people are right when they say there's no originality in movie making anymore. Everything that is done has been done before, but are we ready to switch to having a full intellect transfusion, taking away ideas from the human brain and allowing them to be generated by a bot with free will? Only time and Lionsgate will tell. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like if they do decide to do that, a lot of people are going to be out of a job, and that sucks. Especially when you've worked your way up, you've worked hard, you've learned as much as you could about the business. You're in a position finally where you're where you want to be, and then they say, "Look, we're bringing in AI. We don't need you anymore." That sucks. D Nice goes, AI is not that reliable. That's like identity theft in a way. Delea goes, I think that's why there's speculation over fake content. because AI looks so real. It's very hard to tell, excuse me, it's very hard to tell if something's real or not. And I've always said that about people claiming that they've had hauntings or they've seen a UFO. It's very hard for me to believe because of technology. And especially with AI, it's getting harder to believe. So it makes you triple, makes you double check to um makes you triple check to see if something's real. Like, if I see something, I'm like, that's not real. Let me Google search this. You know what I mean? Like, I have to triple check to see if that's actual legit before I even say anything about it. Emily goes, technology crashes all the time. That is very true. I mean, recently it had never happened before, but there was a hack where Microsoft went down, I believe, and the airports were having issues. Their systems were down. So I mean, you can't depend on technology. I know a lot of us do nowadays. It's like if we're without power, uh, we die. Like, for example, my power went out last night at what time was it? Four. I think it started at four. No, 3:56. Went out, came back on, and I'm like, oh, good. It was just a surge. Then it completely went out. I was like, mother, because every time the power goes off, I wake right up. I wake up, like my fans turn off and I wake up and it's super annoying. I can't go back to sleep. So about I went outside because I'm thinking, oh, it's my street again, because my street's notorious for having a power outage. And no, it's the entire neighborhood. And come to find out, it was the entire neighborhood and the neighborhood beyond that was completely out too. Later today, I found, or earlier today, I found out that 7 transformers blew, and that's what caused it. About 5:35 is when my power came back on, and needless to say, I didn't get to sleep until then. But Jen, what is up? Matthew with the hello. So, I mean, you don't realize how dependent you are on things until it is gone. D Nice goes, that's like what happened with my work. For a time, it was being outsourced and they were having people with less experience do the job. Now the industry is starting over again. Delea goes, any further regulation over AI may be needed. That's why I think SAG may have to talk to the legislators. Matthew goes, beyond belief, fact or fiction. But I get it. I understand it. I don't 100% agree with it, but I understand that we are going toward that direction. That has always been a focus, and I'm sure it's a focus on a lot of companies with technology and being, up with technology and having the most productive equipment for their business, et cetera, et cetera. So I understand, so I get it, but replacing a person with a machine, I don't know about that. I feel like that's going into Terminator with, the humans fighting against the machines type of thing, and I don't want that ever to happen. I get it. Yeah, sometimes a machine can be more efficient than we can be because they don't require food, they don't require sleep, they don't require that. But I still feel that us as humans, we make mistakes as well, but I feel like we could probably do it without breaking down, because machines always break down, computers break down. But if you guys are just coming in, I'm waiting for people to trickle in. If you guys are just coming in, I just read an article. Lion Gate is um going to use AI to create future content. Um, so I'm not sure how I feel about that. I know I'm kind of, I get it, but at the same time I'm against it. Nerd report in the house. Jennifer Murray, what is up? Delay Lex goes, any person could possibly be frauded with AI. True. I mean, you can make yourself in a picture without actually taking a picture, and you could put yourself in any scenario nowadays. In fact, Meta has it with their Meta AI on Facebook, if you guys haven't tried it yet. But it's true. It's very hard to distinguish between AI. I mean, I can tell, but sometimes you can make things look really unbelievable with AI. And Shelly, what is up? Jules, how's it going? Anne, how's it going? How do you guys? I'll wait for all the new people. How do you guys feel? Because Liongate has just hired a firm to create to use AI with their future content. So how do you feel about AI? And then we'll get into the nitty gritty. I'm just waiting for people to trickle in. How do you feel about AI being used in the film industry? Meaning it could take away people's jobs because they can ultimately just use a computer to come up with ideas. Because AI can build a storyboard, can build a script, can build this. So it kind of takes away what? How many people do you think that takes away? 3 people? Delay Alex goes, I think I'm seeing more possible fake celeb social pages in the I see those and I see a lot of them. Um, they're fake, but people, I don't know, people keep falling for them. There's a lot of fake celebrity that they're trying to scam you, so just be careful, guys. Gunner Girl, what is up? Jennifer Marie goes, have you seen Tinkle Tits McGee's AI creations? AI come up with the weirdest. Oh, yes, I have. It's crazy. I mean, I get it if you're trying to create a picture, like just for general thing. I don't mind that. But how do you guys feel about it creating a movie, essentially? D Nice goes, people need food on their table. AI is not a good idea. I agree. Chris goes, because like I said, it's going to be Skynet, Terminator, machine versus the humans. And thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Welcome, Chris, Caddy, Chicken Snake, Kelly, Dana Lynn, to the Wolfpack, hearts for Anne and all the new Wolfpack members. Thank you, Anne. Hearts for Anne, guys. I'm going to perfect this one of these days. Hearts for Anne. Chris goes, I wonder how that works with the real actors. Do they sell their own likenesses? I think that's the reason why they were going on strike. I did hear, because we did lose recently, we lost James Earl Jones, and I had read an article. I don't know how true it is, but I had read an article or read somewhere that he gave them permission to use his likeness. But I don't know how real that is. I mean, I guess I'm okay with it if the person says they're okay with it. Why not? If they give permission, of course it's okay. But if not, then that's kind of pesky. Delay Alex goes, I've had fake messenger contacts too with celeb pics. Jennifer Marie goes, yes, celebrities with ton of access to money is never going to ask you for money. Exactly, I agree. Julissa goes, AI should not create movies. I agree too. Chris is green again. Go, Chris. All right, guys, as always, Skeleduck is somewhere in this background. If you are new to my channel and don't know who Skeleduck is, give me a second here. He is pictured on my right hand corner of the screen, but it's probably your left hand corner of the screen. That is what he looks like. I hide him every stream in my background. D Nice gave me that idea. So just remind me by the end of the stream and I will reveal his location. D Nice goes, I mean, have you ever done speak to text? Not as right. I never, you know what, D Nice, I never used that because I got annoyed with it. It's faster if I typed it. If you know what I mean. Like you would talk. I mean, I get it if you're driving, it came in handy, but if you're speaking into it and you have to, read it after you speak, it's faster just to type it in for me. Jennifer Marie goes, and a Nigerian prince is never going to give you their inheritance if you just send them $2,000. That is weird. I've had that. I didn't fall for it, but years ago I had that happening because I was looking for a roommate. This was years ago. And they I had put an ad for a room online. The guy was like, "I'm interested. Here's your money. Here's your first rent. I will send you a check." The guy sends me a check. The check didn't have his name on it. It was for double the money. Um, I found that fishy at first because I was like, "What the hell? Why is he sending me a check in a company's name?" This was a company name. It wasn't a personal check. It was like a company check. So that was a red flag for me. So I decided to call the company on the check because I found it or email them. I don't remember if I called or emailed. This was a long time ago, so I don't remember. But I ended up coming in contact with someone and they said that their checks were stolen and it was a fake check. And I was like, "Holy crap." They were like, "Can you please send the check back?" I gave them the check back and I gave them all the information I had, which was probably fake anyways, but I had given the information that I had of the individual so they can catch them. But it was a company out of New York, and that's what, caught my eye, and I was like, "Wait a minute, why are you sending me a company check that's out in New York?" But hopefully they were able I don't know if they were able to catch them, but just be careful with that too as well. And I don't know if it was I think it was a Nigerian thing, but I've heard over the years that people have been scammed by Nigerian, or people like weird scams, so just be careful out there. And goes, AI is so confusing, we won't know until the dust settles. True. Matthew goes, someone tried to be Scott Bakula. They were so dumb to say Roddenberry is here with me when he's been passed for decades. Chris goes, my friend Kevin used to talk to text. It's weird. Emily goes, supposedly Matt Rife was messaging me. I told him to send me a video saying my name, and I received one. It looked and sounded just like him. I don't believe it. Jennifer Marie goes, even ask a chat bot to read 1,000 hours of scripts and then write one. Again, the weirdest. Yeah, it is, but it does it. It's crazy to think that, wow, you could do that. I'm wondering how many high school students are using it to write a paper. Oh no, I just gave a bunch of people an idea now. I'm pretty sure they've already been doing it. I gave away their secret. Or rewrite your paper. You could put that in there too. Rewrite this so it sounds this and this and this. It's crazy. It is crazy. But replacing a person, I don't agree with that. Because we are going, like I told you, we are going down the path of Skynet and humans versus machines. And I no. I don't want to be on John Connor's side fighting for our humanity. Jennifer Marie goes, I'm glad my ludicrous business of writing people's papers was before AI days. D Nice goes, I'm hoping teachers are cracking down on that proofreading and such. It's hard to tell. I mean, it's hard to tell with AI unless it doesn't make any sense. Which if you proofread it before, then you can probably catch it, but some people might not do that and they may get caught. Matthew goes, I watched Pleasant Green. He does videos about scammers. Sometimes he got them to stop scamming and help their communities. I saw a guy that would call scammers. I don't know if it's the same guy. I don't know his name. There's a guy that calls scammers and he finds their location and he'll be like, yeah, so are you so and so on so and so street? And they're like, so it's crazy. You got to be careful out there, guys. Just be aware. Question if something doesn't feel right. Rebecca, how's it going? If something does not feel right, triple check it. Um, and I'm hoping it seems like it's only Lion Gate that adopted the AI thing, but I'm sure other studios will follow, unfortunately. But I'm hoping that's not the case. Chris goes, I don't believe anything anymore. Exactly. It's hard to nowadays. All right, guys, if you are new to my channel, I mostly talk about all things spooky, the paranormal, the unexplained, strange and unusual, with a little true crime trickled in. I mostly, if I do talk about true crime, it's usually about older crimes. I'm more into the older crimes, I guess, but I will talk about maybe something new that catches my eye. I may add some current event that's kind of interesting as well. I have any of you guys, and I dubbed today Cryptid Monday, um, because it sounded cool. Um, have any of you heard of the Dover Demon? Chris Barber goes, everyone lies and steals. That is very true, especially now. I know in the state, I don't know how it is in other states. Crime is up, and I know here in SoCal, um, basically they're giving criminals a slap on the wrist. That's why they're kind of not caring and they're committing crimes. Is because we had, I don't know what a DA is that. Is he not? Yes, DA. So we got a gentleman, um, the district attorney here, and he pretty much made certain crimes not as strict as it used to be. So now people are not caring and crime is up. Especially here in my city, it seems like I hear someone's house being broken into at least once a week. Not so much in my immediate neighborhood, but in other ones that are more toward the freeway. More the south part of my area is the more, they call my side like the ghetto side, which I don't think it is. It's still nice, and they call the south side the more, upscale size because it has the bigger houses, I guess. That side seems to be getting crime. So because of that, there's a lot more crime going on and it sucks. So I know what you're talking about, Chris. Jennifer Marie goes, counties make more money keeping people endlessly on probation, though that's why you see slaps on the wrist, especially in northern OC. Chris goes, I mean, I'm almost 60 and I recently got my car stolen. That sucks, especially especially when you work hard for something and you watch someone destroy it in 5 minutes. It really sucks. Joanne goes, but are they eating the cats and dogs? They don't do it here, but I guess in other states they are. It is real. There's a video of a guy actually saying that it is real. I don't know about here, but in other states, yes. Chris goes over 2 grand to fix it. Exactly. It's sad. It's sad. I've never had that happen to me. Luckily, I would probably go after the person. They would probably have to put me in jail because I will go after the person. Um, because it's you work hard for something and you watch it gone in 2 seconds. And I feel like we mostly have house burglaries here. I don't think or cars get broken into too, not stolen, but they get broken into. There's a lot of people that leave stuff in their cars or they leave their cars unlocked here, which I don't know how many times I've seen someone say don't leave important stuff in your car, lock your cars, because if they see an easy target, they will break into your car. So that's what happens here. But still it's annoying because you feel like you've been uh invaded. Randy goes, this is not a new occurrence. And goes, it happened to here in Colorado to my sister. So I think crime is up everywhere. Randy, what is up? It's still me, Kenya. How's it going? Chris goes, Springfield, Ohio is 20 minutes from me. So it seems like D Nice goes, remember, I think it was 2 years ago. It's still me. Kenya goes, so many things are happening. It's true. I know it's bad here. I just don't know how it is everywhere else. But by what you guys are telling me, it's just as bad there too. Matthew goes, one lady did something with a cat, but was it and was not what people said. There's also ducks as well, but I guess if you're homeless and you have no food, I mean that kind of it sounds disgusting, but if you're in fight or flight mode, um what can you say? You know what I mean? D Nice goes, remember 2 years ago that one couple who was attacked in the parking lot because a gentleman was wearing a Rolex? I don't remember. I the Rolex thing kind of remember, but I don't remember it. Brandy goes, years ago in Boston, ducks were being taken from the ponds. Matthew goes, there's plenty of because they said it was Haitians. There's plenty of Haitians here in Florida. All they buy things and send them back to Haiti, like clothes and soaps. But it is crazy how the times have changed. Kyle, how's it going? And the things that we have to do now that we didn't have to do like when was it, like in the 50s? No one's locked their doors, no one did anything, everybody like trusted everybody. You can't do that nowadays. In fact, they let the kids walk to school without supervision. Like, you can't do that now. It's crazy. Randy goes, it's all a distraction. It's still me. Kenya says, yes, 100 times have changed. I know. It's crazy. It is super crazy. In fact, I just got something because I uploaded a crime app. So it gives me police on scene. It gives me stuff that's happening in around the city or near this city. And goes, I played until dark. Yeah, we would play until dark. We would ride in the back of pickup trucks without no helmets when we rode our bikes. I mean, nowadays is because of technology, more people are playing video games and being sedentary, but Randy goes, I left my car unlocked in Boston. Kyle, it's still done up here in smaller communities. So it is sad. Matthew goes, animals go missing because of bigger wild animals, not because of people, no different than Christians blaming satanics for animals missing back in the 80s. There is a video though of a guy saying that he saw people uh with ducks. Randy goes, which I agree. I mean, if you're hungry, what do you're looking for food, so you can't blame them. I don't know what but then I've never been super hungry or in that position, so I don't know. None of us will ever know unless we're put in that position of what we would do. So it's like if you ask, would you eat a human body, like in cannibalism? Because if you were stranded in on a mountain, snowy mountain, what would you do? I don't know until I'm actually in that situation. You know what I mean? Well, we might say no now, but if we're in that situation, things change. Chris goes, we used to ride on the boot of convertible. Carol goes, I know in Connecticut, the Cantonese restaurants was able to cook cats and dogs for themselves, but they were caught serving it to the restaurant, to the public. I know in Korea, they do have restaurants out there that do serve dog. There is a woman out there that's trying to have that shut down, and she's trying to rescue dogs. I know there's another guy I follow that's in Thailand. And he shows me the horrific things that he sees, and he's trying to rescue animal dogs as well. And I know it happens to cats as well. It's sad to watch. It is happening. I know in the Asian countries, and it's been happening. Which it's sad to see. Randy, true, you can't believe everything you hear. Do your own research. Jalissa goes, I would rather starve before eating a person. Delay Lex goes, remember that soccer team that ate each other to survive a plane crash? I know there's several stories like that. Not uh I don't know. Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of, but I know there's like a few stories that's like that, and that's it always makes me think like, what would I do in that situation? Carol goes, we used to stand in the bed of the truck going down the highway. Exactly. You can't do that anymore. I don't think I could do that, but you never know unless you're in that situation. Like, I'm going to say, no, I'm not going to be able to do that. Hell no. Like, I can't see myself doing that. Carol goes, it's sad, but in the other countries, it's a way of life. True, it is. Joanne goes, maybe just the big toes. All right, guys. As I said, did any of you heard of the Dover demon? I had not, so I find this kind of interesting. I'm finding more cryptids as I go on. I've also have two other cryptids that I haven't talked about, but I'm probably going to save those for another stream. Um, uh, as I call it, Cryptid Monday. Joanne goes, no. Matthew makes a point. Weird. Somehow it's wrong now when for a long time we hunt ducks for food. In fact, they're trying to lift the hunting of wolves, which I'm kind of against because, you know, I like wolves. Um, and I think, I don't know what state has already lifted it, but they're trying to uh end the protection of wolves. I've read somewhere, and I'm kind of against that. D Dice goes, you could still play Duck Hunt. Exactly, but you can only play it on a tube TV if you have an original Nintendo. It will not work on these newer TVs. Unless you get I know they probably do have um a uh a pew pew that works on the newer TVs if you look. So you could probably play Duck Hunt with one of those. Jennifer Marie goes, the issue is are the hunting for resources or hunting for sport? Because one I can understand, the other is wasteful. True. Randy goes, all animals should be protected. I agree, but because I personally don't eat meat, but I understand when people that do, I will not push my beliefs on other people. But Joanne goes, wild meat is cleaner food, which is true. And I totally agree with you, Randy. They do have a right to life. Emily has not heard of the Dover demon. I know we kind of went down a rabbit hole, guys, but hey, why not? We're having a great conversation. Carol goes, I used to hunt and eat everything I pewed, peasants, ducks, deers, and other animals. Nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I don't push it's something I wouldn't do, but I'm not going to push it on someone else that does do it. I get it. We are on a chain of there's a food chain if you put it, so I understand it. And it's a choice, so I'm totally for it. I don't disagree with someone that doesn't follow what I follow in. D Dice goes, all the Grayson Report rabbit holes are entertaining. Just a warning, guys, if you're new here, I do go through rabbit holes. But we will talk about the Dover demon, and we'll continue. The Dover demon is something I had never heard about, and I thought it was kind of cool looking. As I've always stated before about cryptids, I do believe there's some truth behind the story. It just might not be exactly what people say, because sometimes um, s- if one person sees something, it could change down the line, especially uh, way back then when stories were passed by mouth. And it's like gossip. You tell one person, by the 30th person, it changes. So I feel like there is some truth to these stories. It just may not necessarily be what the person claimed to have seen. And also, I'm finding out there's a lot more cryptids than I knew existed. So the Dover Demon and the unsolved mysteries behind it, known as the Dover Demon, an eerie cryptid with glowing orange eyes and no mouth, was allegedly spotted in Dover, Massachusetts in April of 1977. Honestly, the Dover Demon kind of looks like an alien to me, just without the nose. It's described as a 4-foot creature with a watermelon shaped head. The Dover Demon allegedly terrorized a small town in eastern Massachusetts in April of 1977. Just 20 miles southwest of Boston, Massachusetts, lies a picturesque hamlet named Dover, but hidden among its forest and back roads may be a creature known as the Dover Demon. It's a chilling little cryptid, to say the least, with a watermelon shaped head featuring glowing eyes and a body like an emaciated monkey. Within but a few hours in April of 1977, 4 teenagers in Dover claimed to have sighted this horrifying creature, and all of their accounts described the same thing in eerie detail: large, glowing eyes on an otherwise blank face. The one thing about the Dover Demon is it does not have a six pack. Like some of the descriptions of creatures that they show are alien like creatures that they show. I don't know why, but whenever I see an alien, they kind of have a six pack. The chilling first sightings of the Dover Demon in April of 1977. I still feel like this looks like an alien or some sort of alien. Over the span of 2 nights in 1977, several teenagers reported to have seen a similar creature, and there has still been no explanation for these sightings. William Bartlett, then 17 years old, was the first person to see the Dover Demon, as he and two friends, Mike Mazzocco and Andy Brody, drove along their local farm street just past 10 p.m. Bartlett witnessed a creature standing on a wall, its eyes glowing in the headlamp. It was not a dog or a cat. It had no tail. It had an egg-shaped head. The Dover Demon, as the creature soon became known, appeared more human than animal. Bartlett said that it reminded him of children with distended stomachs, but the head with no mouth, ears, or nose. I always wondered, because I don't think this article goes into why they named it Demon. Because I mean, I guess it kind of looks like one by the description. The next encounter with the Dover creature the following night. 2 hours after Bartlett witnessed the creature, 15-year-old John Baxter walked his girlfriend home near a heavily wooded area. He said he got within 15 feet of a creature that looked remarkably like the one Bartlett saw. Baxter made a black and white drawing of the Dover Demon. He stated the creature had large eyes and tendril-like hands. He saw the thing standing next to a tree. This is his description. Like I said, it looks like an alien to me. I don't know about you guys, but it looks like an alien. Uh, I mean, it looks like the classic, look of an alien, that what we depict an alien to look like. This one just might be a little different, but I feel like the hands and the feet are similar. Jeff Roberto, so it was first spotted when people were tripping on psychedelics. True. Actually, no, it was the late 70s, 1977. Um, but people were still kind of, I mean, the 70s were more of the disco era, I feel like. So, but yeah, there's still those there. So, yeah. I do not like bell bottoms, so don't remind me. Jeffrey teenagers in the 70s. Yep, tripping. It's still can't meet Kenya, I believe. Jeffrey goes or an elaborate prank because teenagers were bored. True, true. Um, I don't know how big of a town Dover is, but I can imagine back in the 60s, yes, or 70s. I'm sorry, it was in the 70s. Chris goes lots more drugs in the 70s. The next night on April 22nd at around midnight, a 15-year-old girl named Abby Brabham saw the Dover demon. It was standing up right next to a tree. She said, much like sighting the night before. The location of the sightings, when plotted, lay in a straight line over 2 miles. All the sightings were made near water. Bartlett remains shaken and haunted by the sightings even years later. In a lot of ways, it's kind of embarrassing to me. I definitely saw something. It was definitely weird. I didn't make it up. Sometimes I wish I had. Independently, all three witnesses of the Dover demon had the same or eerily similar story. In all accounts, there was something that was kind of human but not quite animal about the creature. It seems undeniable that something uncanny had come to Dover. Some chalk up the strange encounters to inebriation, while Bartlett says he and his friends were looking for beer that night. They never did um, drink. Altern Alternatively, the creature could have been a fowl or baby moose mistaken for something more sinister. Though April wasn't fowl season and moose were long gone from Dover at the time of the sighting. Additionally, fowls and mooses don't stand on hind legs, nor do they sit on the top of walls. Bartlett also denies that this creature could be an animal of any kind. This definitely wasn't a fox or an animal. It was some kind of creature with long, thin fingers. The thing was more human like in the form than animal. I've always tried to guess that it was. I never had any idea. I wasn't trying to be funny. People who know me know I didn't make this up. So, Mr. Bartlett is adamant that he was not drinking of any kind and he did not make this up. He was not, I mean, they didn't mention the tripping part, so I can't account for that. But there were those things going on during that time. Lauren Coleman, a noted cryptozoologist from Maine, thinks all three sightings were credible. He spoke to the teens within a week of the reported sightings. We have a credible case over 25 hours by individuals who saw something. Coleman believes that the Dover demon doesn't match in any inexplicable sighting reported before, such as those of other famous cryptids and aliens like the chupacabra, which we have talked about in previous streams. Bigfoot, Roswell, the aliens, or the bat-eared goblins of Hopkinsville, Kentucky in 1955. And I did talk about Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and this might say is the most unique creature I have ever seen. It also looked like it worked out. It did not skip chest day. So I find this one kind of interesting because it's actually something different. Uh, but also too, it the arms could kind of drag on the ground. But come on, he did not skip chest day or bicep or triceps day. Stranger still, weird sightings like this isn't out of the ordinary. Dover, this area of Massachusetts, has had its fair share of weirdness throughout the centuries. Jared Fabry goes, oh, it looks like Stitch. I didn't think of it. It does. Jared Fabry, that's true. Teenagers absolutely never lie to authorities. Carol goes, I was a teenager in the 70s. We didn't see much with people using psychedelics. Randy goes, Google Dover Demon. They made plush toys. Oh, no way. I have to get one. Other alleged paranormal occurrences in Dover, Massachusetts. Coleman noted that the area in which the Dover demon was sighted already had a history of unexplained activity. In the same area, you had three major legends going on, including a sighting of the devil on horseback in the 1600s, I have never talked about that one. Interesting. Stories of buried treasure and then the Dover demon. I think it certainly says something. Coleman continued. It's almost as if there are certain areas that collect sightings almost in a magnetic way. The woods in Dover, Massachusetts, beautiful. Beautiful. Then in 1972, just 5 years before the Dover sighting, Mark Sennett swore he saw a creature in the woods. Something with glowing eyes had turned up in his car headlights, too. We saw a small figure deep in the woods moving at the edge of the pond. We could see it moving in the headlights. We didn't know, but whatever the reality behind this barrage of old occurrences, the Dover demon has since sparked a cultural phenomenon. There are video games and figurines of the alien like creature from far away as Japan. The Dover demon certainly makes for a good campfire tale and a sufficient reminder to always have a buddy when driving down Farm Street southwest of Dover, just in case. And it probably would make a great horror movie because all those horror movies start around a campfire talking about, do you know that legend that they say about these woods type of thing. So, guys, what do you think of? Thank you, Anne, for dropping by. But guys, what do you think of the Dover Demon? Do you believe it is real or some part of it is real, or do you think it's fabricated completely? Um, if you're with Jennifer thinking that it was a bunch of teenagers high off their rocker and they were bored and decided to make this up. Like I said, I believe there's some credibility to the story. It just might not be what people say it is. And to me, this one looks more like an alien than a cryptid to me. So I feel like if anything, they saw the existence of extraterrestrials in this case, and they were the lucky ones that got to see the existence of it. And probably if that would happen to me, I'd be scared. I would be scared if I saw that. If I saw an alien, I would be scared. I really would be. But then I'd be like, oh my god, they exist. Because I want to believe, but I still need some proof. So I always figure those people that do have that experience are deemed lucky because they have that experience and can talk about it and know, like, hey, this is what I saw. I saw a UFO in the sky, and I do believe that they are coming here. So Antone, how's it going? D Nice goes, anything is possible. True. Joanne goes, just a story. Carol believes they saw something. Randy agreed with D Nice that anything is possible. Chris goes, they might have seen something, but I doubt it was anything alien. Do you guys think it was an animal that they might have seen? Possibly. And then because whatever the reason, it might have been dark or something, they didn't get a clear look at the animal, which is a big possibility. Carol goes, if I remember correctly, it was reported in a rag paper like the National Enquirer, which is a tabloid newspaper. So you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt when it comes to those. But I do find their stories interesting. Chris Barber goes, probably just a bobcat or something. Gunner Girl goes, could have been an animal. Randy goes, if enough people were giving energy to the story, it's possible that it was manifested. Very true. Shamanistic Unicorn Tam, what is up? How's it going? But I always find stories about cryptids fascinating. If I do see one, I'll definitely let y'all know. I don't know if anybody would believe me because, like, nowadays it's hard to believe anything, but heck, at least I'll know what I saw. All right, this isn't really a spooky story, but I found it interesting. I do trickle in current events every once in a while. Um it's me, Kenya. Thank you for dropping by. I found it super interesting. It's crazy. A 6-year-old boy was abducted from, I think, it dropped in the news yesterday or the day before. I'm not sure. I don't remember when. A 6-year-old boy was abducted from a California park in 1951, and now he's been found alive. This is crazy. Um, an ancestry DNA test helped Luis Armando Albino's family find him 73 years later after he was kidnapped while playing at a park in Oakland, California with his older brother. This is crazy. I'm glad they were able to find him. Um, sad that this happened to him, but glad he's alive and well. In 1951, 6-year-old Luis Armando Albino was abducted from Jefferson Square Park in Oakland, California by an unknown woman. The boy's kidnapper flew him across the country where he was raised by an unnamed couple as their son. Despite an extensive manhunt and the involvement of the FBI, no leads as to the albino whereabouts ever surfaced. For 7 decades, his family was left without answers. However, even after Albino's mother died in 2005. His extended family never forgot about him. In 2020, his niece, Alida Alquin, submitted her DNA to an ancestry site and discovered she was related to a man on the East Coast. This prompted her to reopen Albino's case with the Oakland police, and in 2024, authorities confirmed that Albino was alive and well. Albino, a retired firefighter, Marine Corps veteran, and grandfather, was recently able to reunite with his biological family, bringing an end to a decade long mystery. This is crazy. So, not all. He was, he's now 79 years old. And this is him pictured on my left. It might be your right with his, late brother. So, Roger. Luis Armando Albino goes missing from an Oakland park. So he's been missing since February 21st, 1951. On February 21st, 1951, 6-year-old Luis Armando Albino was playing at Jefferson Square Park in West Oakland when a woman wearing a bandana approached him. Albino's older brother Roger was with him at the time, but he turned his back long enough for the stranger to lure Albino away with the promise of candy. The woman, who has not been named by the authorities, kidnapped Albino and flew him across the country to the East Coast. There, Albino was given to a couple and raised as their son. Following Albino's abduction, the police, Coast Guard, and even soldiers from a local army base searched the San Francisco Bay Area for any signs of the younger boy. Roger was questioned by investigators multiple times, but he insisted that he'd seen a woman with a bandana talking to his brother at the park the day he disappeared. The FBI even got involved in the case, but no credible leads ever surfaced. For more than 7 decades, Albino's family never knew what had happened to him, but they held on to hope that he was still alive. Albino's mother would frequently call the police about case updates and leads until her death in 2005 at the age of 92. She always felt he was alive. She took that with her to her grave. Alida Alquin, Albino's niece, told the Mercury News. All this time, the family kept thinking of him. I always knew I had an uncle. We spoke of him a lot. My grandmother carried the original article in her wallet, and she always talked about him. A picture of him was always hung at the family home. With Albino's mother gone, Alquin decided to take a stab at solving this family mystery herself. Wendy, what is up? Randy was able to see a cryptid, but was driving so fast that a picture couldn't be taken. That is super cool. D Nice goes, I agree. Hopefully she's resting in peace. I hope so. It's crazy that after all these times he was found. I'm glad they found him. I'm sad that he was raised by another family. Dusty, what is up? The hunt for Luis Armando Albino and his long awaited homecoming. I'm glad his niece decided to take initiative and um look into it. In 2020, Alita Alquin decided to submit her DNA to an ancestry site just for fun. When she received her results, she discovered that she had a 22% DNA match with an unknown man on the East Coast. Alquin tried to reach out to him, but she wasn't able to get in contact. Still, it raised questions in her mind about her long lost uncle. Earlier this year, Alquin uncovered a photo of Albino and his older brother while doing research at a local library. She took her DNA results and the photo to the Oakland police, prompting them to reopen Albino's missing persons investigation. This is his Albino's mother, may she rest in peace, with a picture of her missing son at the time. Then on June 20th of 2024, investigators broke the shocking news Luis Armando Albino was alive. In my heart, I knew it was him, and when I got the confirmation, I let out a big yes, Alquin told the Mercury News. We didn't start crying until after the investigators left. I grabbed my mom's hand and said, we found him. I was ecstatic. That is super cool. Just 4 days later, Luis Armando Albino arrived in Oakland to reunite with his biological family, including his brother, Roger. They grabbed each other and had a really tight, long hug. Alquin recalled they sat down and just talked. Albino told his loved ones what had happened to him in the years since his abduction. He served as a Marine in Vietnam, worked as a firefighter, and had children and grandchildren of his own. So it looked like he had sad that this happened to him, but it looked like he had a decent upbringing. He was a Marine. He was a you know, he was married, grandfather, a firefighter. So it doesn't look like the family that raised him was bad at all. The reunion came just in time. Roger passed away less than 2 months later. I think he died happily. Alcuin said he was at peace with himself, knowing that his brother was found. I was just so happy I was able to do this for him and bring him closure and peace. I was always determined to find him, Alcuin continued, and who knows, with my story out there, it could help other families going through the same thing. I would say don't give up. What, isn't that freaking amazing? Crazy amazing. D Nice goes, I'd cry too. I mean, it didn't say it was kind of vague about his upbringing. I wish it kind of told us about his upbringing in this article, but it didn't. Obviously, I mean, at 6 he had to know that something wasn't right and that he was away from his family, but it looks like he turned out a pretty great person. So it doesn't look like he was with a bad family, but still at the same time it doesn't cover what happened to him, which sucks. But I'm glad they found him, and it's crazy that the niece just did a DNA test and boom, like something, she had a hunch and she went on it, which is super awesome. Joanne goes, you will have to read the book, Lisa. Exactly. I probably will. Books are sometimes better. Hold on, guys. Give me a second, guys. So, my next article, I'm so glad that they were able to find him. That was a happy story. I know some of those don't end up with a happy ending, but I'm glad that one did. Um, this one I feel like is more like a my next article. It's I feel like it's a ghost hunter trying to find spooky haunted houses. Um, I'll just remind Dusty, just remind me at the end of the stream and I reveal Skeleduck's location. So this is the Daily Mail. It's a tabloid site, but they do have some cool stories, some interesting ones. Ghost hunter searches for Britain's most haunted houses after glowing orb of light terrifies homeowners and poltergeist throws rubbish across the floor. So could your home be a hotbed of paranormal activity? I have never had an experience like that, though I am a believer of the paranormal. I've never had anything move on me. I've seen orbs in my studio here because I do have a camera in here that I have on when I'm not in here. I've had vivid dreams, stuff like that. That's more of my paranormal, I would say, experiences. I've never had the actual where I've seen, and I might have seen like a shadow or two at the corner of my eye. I've heard knocking, but other than that, I've never seen anything move. I've never had that type of experience. With data revealing a quarter of Brits believes that they live in a haunted house, a ghost hunter is trying to track down properties which are a hotbed of paranormal activity. Yvette Fielding, 55, resigned from a TV show's Most Haunted after presenting it for more than a decade. She now works as a paranormal investigator, and those who think their home may have an unwelcome guest are in for a chance to bring her in this Halloween. So it's more to kind of, I guess, advertise her. She's conducting a national hunt to find UK's most haunted home this spooky season. It comes as she examines spooky ring footage of flying objects and creepy orbs for ghostly tricks. Imagine how many emails she's going to get of people wanting to be on her thing. She's probably going to get a gazillion of them. As always, guys, if you have a cool story, a video, article, could be your own story you'd like to share, please send it to graysonreport13 at gmail.com. D Nice has dropped it in the chat. I may share it on my next live stream. Sometimes I don't share them all, but I do try to share most of them. But it could be your own paranormal story or own story or a legend that you grew up with, whatever it may be that you think I might find interesting. Email me at graysonreport13 at gmail.com. It could be a photo that you have that you would like to share. If you do email me, because I do like to give shout outs, just make sure you have your YouTube name on there, because I don't want to give out your real name unless you don't mind your real name being said. Ms. Fielding told those who suspect they have an unnatural visitor to keep an ear out for unexplained knocking or ringing doorbells. There's a lot of people that I've noticed with their Ring cameras that they come on, or if they take a picture or whatnot, and they'll be like, "Oh my God, what is there something here?" And when I look at them, a lot of 9 times out of 10, it's either like lens flare or it's maybe something to do with the camera catching the glare from headlamps or whatever it may be. I feel like a lot of them isn't paranormal, so she's probably going to get a crap load of those. Other evidence may include disembodied voices, knocking, banging, and tapping sounds coming from the walls, ceilings, or floors. Haunted homes may have the sound of footsteps walking around the house or future furniture moving on its own. Commonly seen in horror movies, homeowners may be left unnerved by electrical appliances turning themselves on and off. Water might suddenly flow from showers and taps, or puddles of mysterious water appearing for no reason. I had a friend, um, uh, I remember they lived in it's in this city, but it's in another part of my city, but they lived in a home. They grew up in a home that was haunted. I remember one day that they were sisters. I remember the younger sister had a room at one time. We didn't go to the same high schools because they didn't have a high school for this particular area at the time. Now they do. So most of us went to different high schools after junior high school in this area. And so I didn't get to see them that much, but then I remember I would come back and be like, "Why did you guys switch rooms?" And all of a sudden they would tell me like there was this lady in black that was wearing Victorian clothing that they saw. And my other friend, the one that the sister that moved room, had said that something pushed her off the bed. And the other sister be like, "Yeah, I was playing," because she played the piano, and she would play like, Bible, like the like religious music. And she said, "Yeah, the woman in black pour water on the floor and there was a wet puddle there." I was like, "What?" I didn't get to experience this. It's just what I saw. So anything is possible. But they said it was a woman in black and she was wearing like Renaissance, not Renaissance period, like old Western clothing type, like the 1800s clothing. And I was like, "What the heck?" Their house is newer than mine. So it was like kind of weird. It was crazy. But specifically remember that they switched rooms. It was that bad. Miss Fielding said hearing unexplained noises and seeing ghost sightings of family members that have passed away are just a few of paranormal experiences that people may come across within their homes. It's crazy now that I come to think of it. We would be in the downstairs and it was 2 stories. You would hear people walking on the upper floors when there was just us in the house. I remember that. That was like, "Oh my god, what was that?" Like, it was crazy. It's great to have devices like Ring security cameras that can capture footage for us to further investigate these spooky activities. I'm excited to collaborate with Ring again to help find the UK's most haunted house. Research from Ring revealed that 57% of Brits have experienced unusual activity that could be paranormal. The data revealed the top paranormal experiences are unexplained noises, 30%, and ghost sightings of a close relative that passed away, 19%. This was closely followed random ghost sightings, 18%, and an object moving on its own, 15%. The research also revealed that over a quarter of those with pets claim their animal companions have reacted to strange encounters within their home. I do believe small, and I know I've said this before, but I do believe pets and younger children can see things that we cannot see. They said their pets were strangely staring at nothing, 46%, making noise at something invisible to the eye, 42%, and reacting with unusual fear and anxiety, 28% in certain areas of the home. Despite two-thirds claiming they're not scared of spooky activity, 38% said they would pay to have the ghost removed from their home. Me, I'm fine with living with it as long as they don't bother me. If they're not bothering me, why I it doesn't um if they're not harming me, then I see no harm with living with a ghost. I don't. In a more extreme case, 31% said they would likely sell and move house if it was proven their house was in fact haunted. Dave Ward, managing director EU and international at Ring, said people use our devices for more than just traditional security, with many also using them to keep an eye on paranormal activity in the home. This Halloween, we're giving customers a chance to have their property inspected for any spooky happenings. Hopefully, both Ring and Yvette can give peace of mind to anyone who thinks their home may be haunted. But I feel like too, um, even though it's from Ring, I still feel like it could be a gimmick. Joanne goes, "She should go to Buckingham Palace. Must be creepy there." And I agree. I think during that, I've never been there, but I can imagine it's probably creepy during the day too. Matthew goes, "The power of sage compels you. The power of sage compels you." Wendy goes, "No movement, just visions and voices in the cabin." Wendy also said, "I laid down my conditions when moving into a new resident. Gunner Go goes, my dog used to look up at the ceiling at the time. Maybe he saw something we didn't. Possibility." D Nice goes, "Speaking from experience, I was there in my preteens. You do feel the spirits." Also, too, I don't know if you guys have seen. There's a was an article floating around where a woman was her cat was meowing, and she just thought her cat was meowing. Um, and so she was like, "Oh, my cat's meowing. Let me do a TikTok." And she did a TikTok, but what she found, I actually thought that the cat caught something paranormal, but it wasn't paranormal. But then she realized the cat was trying to point out something that it was seeing, and the cat was seeing that there was a bat in the house. And it took her a while to catch on, but it was a bat that the cat was meowing at, and not I thought it was paranormal, but still, it's still cute. Jen, thank you for gifting a membership. Welcome, Laura S. to the Wolfpack. Hearts for Jen. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate that. Dusty goes, my dog was reacting to coming in the vacant jungle property next to my yard. I was trying to see nothing there, and then a goat jumped out. Sometimes it's not necessarily paranormal. You know what I mean? Like, I was thinking when I was reading that story, like I said, I was thinking it was something paranormal, because I do believe that cats, dogs, whatever it may be, can see things that we cannot. But it ended up being a bat that was in their house, which is kind of cute. Wendy goes, bats give rabies, kitty save the family. Exactly. She just thought her cat was, talkative, chatty, which some cats can be. But that's the one thing I wouldn't think would be in my house. I mean, I don't think we have bats here in this area, but that's one thing I wouldn't think would be in my house. So that would be the least of my thinking. Did you guys, I don't know, I really don't want to show these, but did you guys see the article that they found um the Titan submergible? uh this is from the New York Post. They found left the remains of the Titan submergible. I think it's been about a year where people paid money to go down in a non-tested aquatic vehicle. I don't know what you would call that. Boat. Um was not tested, was not given approval, was controlled by a PlayStation controller. Unfortunately, they lost their lives. It's something I probably, if even if I had the money, I would not have done it. I would not care. Wendy goes, I agree. Animals have voices and can talk if you listen and communicate. Carol goes, for your information, many people think that all bats have rabies. This is simply not true. While bats can contract the rabies virus, very few do. In fact, less than half of 1% of bats have rabies. Thank you, Carol. Jen goes, no way. D Nice goes, dude, yeah, that's so eerie. Dusty goes, we have fruit bats in Hawaii, but no rabies. Thank goodness. Submersible. Thank you, Jalissa. The submersible. Well, this article popped up the other day. It does have a photo of it. I don't think I want to show the photo out of respect for the people, but I'll read the article. If you guys want to Google it, you can to see it. It's something I wouldn't have done. I know a lot of you has, because I've talked about this before. I know a lot of you have said no way too as well. I don't care how much money I had. I will not go on something that's not tested. Especially something like that. I don't think, I get it. Seeing the Titanic is a life, in a life experience, which unfortunately those people did lose their lives. In fact, a son was, it's sad to think of this, the son wasn't going to go. Um, but he saw that his dad was going and he was like, yeah, it could be a father son trip. And they both ended up losing their lives. And I feel for the families of the people that were lost, because it's sad. They didn't deserve that. But Matthew goes, I've seen the image. I'll show it a little bit, but I won't keep it up for long. Haunting, final photos of the Titan submersible after implosion revealed. This came out September 16th. This is on the New York Post. The U.S. Coast Guard has revealed the first image of Ocean Gate's doomed Titan submersible, which shows the vessel severed tail cone eerily resting on the ocean floor. The image was made public at a press conference Monday depicting the aftermath of the experimental watercraft's implosion at around 12,500 feet below sea level on June 18th, 2023, killing all 5 passengers on board. Here is the image. I guess it's not that bad. Here is the image of what was left. The photo was taken during the search for the sub last year, with investigators also preparing an animated video recreation of Titan's descent into the Atlantic Ocean. This is what the Titan looked like. Honestly, like I said, there's no amount of money, even if I was allowed to go on that free, where I would go on that. Even if I had the money, I don't think I would have gone on it. The video shows the back and forth messages sent between the Titan and the Polar Prince support ship during the dive. The final message the Polar Prince received was all good here before the Titan went dark, all around 10:47 a.m. Within 2 minutes after the final message, the Polar Prince had lost tracking of the submersible, according to investigators. Among the dead were Ocean Gate CEO and co-founder Stockton Rush, who was operating the Titan, as well as British adventurer Hamish Harding, French explorer Paul Henry Nargiolet, and 2 members of a prominent Pakistani family, Shahzada Dawin and his son Sulman. During Monday's hearing, the Coast Guard heard from Tony Neeson, Ocean Gate's former engineering director, who described a slew of safety concerns in the company allegedly ignored by Rush. Investigators also revealed that the Titan suffered dozens of problems during previous trips, including 70 equipment issues in 2021 and 48 issues in 2022. That's a big red flag. Hell no. Ocean Gate former finance director Bonnie Carl and former contractor Tim Catterson are also scheduled to testify on Monday. Carl told the Coast Guard that she had never seen one of the Ocean Gate's supposed mission specialists sign waivers with the company. She ultimately described the mission specialists as simply wealthy customers without any real qualifications. Like Neeson, Carl said that all major decisions within the company were left to Rush, and that she too left Ocean Gate over safety concerns. Last month, Nargiolet's family filed a $50 million wrongful death lawsuit stemming from the implosion, alleging the crew experienced terror and mental anguish, and accusing its operator, Ocean Gate, of gross negligence, which I'm on their side. I feel like there was too many red flags. That thing shouldn't have ever left port. D Nice goes, a legit S mission. Was he in debt? That's what I'm wondering, because there is no way that should have left the port, or it shouldn't have left. Period. With people in it. Dusty goes, a lot of mystery surrounding that event. I saw the image of it stuck in the sand. Joanne goes, I always hated going up into the belfry to take out windows for a restoration, but bat crap everywhere. So gross. That sub was an accident waiting to happen with all those red flags before it happened. Exactly. Like, why? That makes me believe. I'm not sure because it doesn't say, but D Nice kind of makes a legit kind of what might have happened, or why was he in debt or something? I don't know. It doesn't say, so I can't say that, but I feel for the families. I don't blame that family for suing. Uh I'm totally on their side. But then at the same time, their family member, not to say like they knew that was going to happen, but they had a choice too. And that's too many red flags. I would have, if I was the CEO of the company, I would have never let the thing launch. Carol, he rushed the whole thing. I agree. That's what it seems like. Carol goes, the sub was an act. I read that already. I agree. Um, it's sad. It's very sad. It's something I mean, obviously we all have a choice to go on there or not. They just chose the wrong decision. I personally would not have done it. Even not knowing the red flags, I would not have gone on that because number one, it's not even approved. That was the first red flag before I even knew about the other ones. D Nice goes, there's a reason we were taught in school to do test runs, hypothesize and stuff. Exactly. You got to test your equipment, especially if you're going to have people in it. I mean, you know what I mean? It's sad. It really is. I get it. These people are probably super excited because they're like, oh my God, we're going to see the Titanic. How exciting is this? Of course. But even with that in mind, I don't think I would have done it. I would have been like, you send a drone down there, I'll see it from above here. D Nice goes, critical thinking. Exactly. Dusty Lane goes, makes you wonder about these space missions. Also, now 2 astronauts stranded till February of next year. Exactly. I'm hoping they have enough equipment. I did hear about that, but I didn't really read into it, so I don't know too much about it, but I'm hoping, my first thought when I heard about it was I'm hoping that they have enough supplies. That's sad. It's super sad. I mean, too many people have lost their lives in that area already. We don't need any more. And one of them was due to an iceberg. So, which is weird. When I read about the Titanic as well, they kind of ignored the iceberg warnings at first. So that's kind of sad too as well. D Nice goes, I mean, 409 got its name because it took 409 tries to perfect the formula. Is 409 still in stores? Yes, it is actually. I don't use it, but it's still in stores. I did not know that. That's kind of cool. Joanne goes, they believed it was unsinkable. Exactly. But nothing is unsinkable. Even now, with what we have and the materials we have, I still don't think anything is unsinkable. Joanne goes, they know now. Yep. D Nice goes, the more you know. All right, guys, I'm going to open it up for questions. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll give you a few more minutes to look for Skeleduck. Could be paranormal related, could be what we talked about earlier, could be now it makes me want to use 409 D Nice. Matthew has found Skelly. Have any of you guys watched anything interesting over the weekend that you would recommend? D Nice goes, what you think of the weather today? Pretty neat for it was warmer today, but not because I saw that it was gonna warm up. I've been enjoying the 70s that we've been having. Um, I didn't go for a walk today. I opted for a different exercise. I did kickboxing today. But it was a nice day today. Uh, because my power went off for an hour and a half, so I lost that messed me all up. But it was nice weather today. Tomorrow I think is supposed to be about the same. Not it's not as hot as it was 2 weeks ago. I'm afraid that's gonna come back, but it wasn't that bad today, actually. Gunner Girl goes, "Have you decided what costume you wanna be for Halloween this year?" Not yet. I have not. Dusty goes, "What was that kids show my son used to watch? They would always say, 'and knowing is half the battle.'" Holy crap! I just had a brain fart with that. That's how oh my god, that's it's one of those things where, like, I know that, but I don't know it. Anyone in the chat, do you guys know? Kyle goes, "I saw a trailer for a Grinch horror movie. That sounds interesting, actually." The shamanistic unicorn. Tam, have you thought of a I have not yet. I have no idea. Like, I'm come blank. Wendy goes, "Humid as F. I need recommendations for spookiness." Nerd Report's gonna be Diddy for Halloween. Matthew goes, "I watched Young Woman and the Sea on Disney Plus. Daisy Ridley." Nerd Report goes, G.I. Joe. Julissa goes, "It was so hot here. It was 93. Oh, wow. That's hot. I mean, initially, the weather said it was supposed to be 90, but it ended up only being like 88 or 87, which I knew it wasn't going to reach 90. Wendy Burrito goes, John Carver, Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is on, I think it's still on Netflix. It's the Eli Roth film. So if you guys haven't checked that out, check that out. If you're looking for something spooky. Um, there's the true crime-ish. There's the Eric and Lyle Menendez story. I think it's okay. I feel like it kind of took some liberties with the story, so that's why I'm kind of like okay with it. Uh I kind of feel like some of it that they presented in it is a little BS, so it's hard for me to get into it. They are going to have like a documentary type one coming out, which I saw. I don't know when it comes out. Um and then I've pretty much been watching like true crime docs. Uh the last movie I watched was In a Violent Nature. If you guys have Shudder, I don't really recommend it, but if you have nothing to do, check it out. Um, uh, I was so disappointed with it. It was in the perspective of the killer. Just knowing that you can kind of tell how it went. But other than that, I haven't watched anything. I'm looking forward to Trapped coming out on streaming, but that's not until next month. I know there's a few. I'm afraid to pick movies because all the movies I've watched lately have been duds. So I'm kind of afraid to. There's a few that I saw coming out that looked interesting, but I'm afraid to watch them. Dusty goes, G.I. Joe. Oh, it's G.I. Joe. Okay, thank you guys. Carol goes, it's been cool here the last few days. Had to wear sweatshirts. Nerd Report also said knowing is half the battles from G.I. Joe. I didn't really it's weird. I know of it, but I wasn't really a big GI Joe. I didn't really watch the cartoon, which is weird, but I had GI Joes, if that made any sense. D Nice goes, I tried watching Flubber earlier, but my internet cut out, and so I saved my data for the stream. D Nice goes, how long do your shoes last? Mine get worn out fast because I drag my feet. Depends if I do a lot of walking, I tend to have to get shoes, like, maybe, um, 6 months or so, sometimes earlier, if I do a lot of walking, and I did a lot of walking. I kinda still do a lot of walking. Chris Barber saw Night Swim, kinda stupid. Is that the one with the pool? Yes, it is. It was okay. It's it's Blumhouse, I think. I don't have high hopes when it comes to Blumhouse nowadays. I did see that one. I see they're talking about, I guess there's a movie with, uh, Demi Moore in it. I see people talking about it that's out. I think it's in theaters, called Substance. I also see, Never Let Go with Halle Berry, which is also in, theaters as well. If you guys like to go to theater, I'm kind of a watch the movie on the couch type of gal. I feel like that way you don't have a person kicking the back of your seat or seeing someone in the front on their cell phone. Wendy goes as a retired young nurse, new sneaks every 4 months. Carol goes, I didn't get to watch any movies this weekend because of the kitchen cabinets I was building. Those look cool, Carol, by the way. They look awesome. Also, want to give a shout out to D Nice for your PayPal hearts for D Nice, guys. Thank you, D Nice. I appreciate that. D Nice said shoe fund. Thank you, D Nice. Hearts for D Nice, guys. So I haven't been really watching any horror movies per se. All right, guys. Skeleduck is on my left hand, your right hand side, I believe. And he's right where my finger is pointed. He's right next to my vampire gnome. And in between, well, basically, if you say he's in between my skull and the vampire gnome, he's right there where my finger is pointing. He's kind of sneaking, sneaking a peek. Matthew goes, I told you. D Nice goes, no, I was wrong again. Gunner Girl goes, he was tucked in good. I thought that was a good spot because I was like, oh, let's put him there. Carol goes, you can only see his wing mainly. Yeah, or like the actually kind of like the front of him, like right here. Julissa goes, I could not find that pinche duck today. Wendy goes, I was foiled again. Carol goes, it's that black I see the most. Yeah, like you could see the yeah, you can. And then like the shadow from the palmeras. I know they're Christmas flowers, but I thought they looked cool, so I just left them there all year round. Dusty goes, oops, not where I thought he was. Who's that poking its head up below the skeleton and the green guy? Oh, it's another skeleton. Because on my right, your left, there's Thing, Alien Duck, Cobra Kai Duck, and then there's Larry the skeleton, and then there's a smaller skeleton, Jerry the skeleton. I think that's what you were looking at. And then I got Sam from Trick or Treat, Hello Kitty as a mummy, and then a peep. And then the pumpkin from Trick or Treat, and then I have a Monster Mash cereal with the DJ on it. Um uh that I got last year and I never opened. I have a strange thing where I collect things and I don't open them. Wisdom, what is up? Carol goes, if you ever change that room too much, it would be harder for me to find. You just gave me an idea, Carol. Carol goes, what's the white behind the alien duck? Oh, that's a ghost. It's a ghost plushie. I just put them there because I rearranged. I had a piece of equipment right there that I took out, so I kind of rearranged that area. So kind of so the cereal box used to be further back, and then the ghost was there, but you couldn't see it as much. Kind of forgot what it was for a second. D Nice goes, any recent orbs in the studio? I think it was a week ago. I had ended the stream. I turned everything off, turned the camera back on, and literally not like 10 seconds or like maybe not 10 seconds, maybe like 5 minutes later, I caught something on my camera. And I was like, what? I just came from out of there. It was weird too. It was like two orbs. Matthew goes, you need a skelebuus? Wouldn't that would be funny. And then before then, it might have been a while because I don't. It doesn't happen all the time. It just happens every once in a while. Probably maybe a month or two ago was the last time. And that the last time before that, it was coming from where I'm sitting from this wall, and it went this way. I have no idea what it is. This used to be my dad's office. I do have pictures of my grandfather and grandmother in here, and I do have some of her things in here. I have a mirror that she owned, like a small mirror that's on the wall, so I don't know, could be a number of things. I've been told my grandfather watches over me. He did pass away way before I was born, so I have never met him, but I do have a memory. I know I've said this before, but I do have a memory, or I always thought it was real, but when my grandmother had passed away, that's when I saw his grave for the first time, and I realized he had passed away way before I was born. And it's a memory of him. He would be dressed up. It's kind of like what he looks like in the picture. He'd be dressed up in like 50s type of attire, and we'd be in a 50s car, like a 50s Ford coupe kind of looking car, and he'd be taking me on the freeway. I remember it. He'd be taking me onto the freeway going toward Disneyland, and I've had that dream over and over again. I always thought it was real when I was a kid until I was about 20 23, 24. It was and when my grandmother had died. My grandmother had passed away on 9/11 when the twin towers were hit. And when she passed, that's when I realized when my grandfather had passed, and I was like, holy crap, that was not real. Jen Decker goes, that's who I assume it is, family. Wendy goes, we are doing another renovation on the cabin. Stay tuned. D Dice goes, man, all I get on my Ring cameras are spiders from time to time. Daddy Longlegs. I get those too outside. I'll see coyotes, raccoons, and then I'll be like, what the hell's in my driveway? Because it pops up, and then you'll see the spider web, like a strand of it just like floating in the wind, and I'm like, ah. Or a bird sits on the camera. I've had that. Or a spider, like I know what you mean, D Nice, a spider on the camera. But in here, that's what I got. I've had the camera. I do have a camera in my room. I only turn that on if I go away. Um, but it's off, but it's still connected to the network, but I don't have it activated. Well, it went off one day and I saw an orb and I was like, what? I've got orbs in my room too? Like, what is this? But then in my room, I have my ashes of my mom and dad, and that room used to be my parents' room. So Carol goes, once I figure out where things are, I look for something that wasn't there before. That's how I find him. It's a memory thing. That's actually a gift, Carol. That's kind of cool. But you gave me an idea. D Dice goes, dude, my grandfather, mom's brother passed when I was 2. My only memory of him was him dancing at a family party. I only wish I could see him in my dreams like I did in the 90s. It usually means, D Nice, that they know that we're okay. I don't dream about my mom like I used to dream frequently when she passed. I used to have dreams about her all the time. It wasn't so much like that for my dad, but I think my dad knew I was okay. He was more I know my stepmom had mentioned she had dreams of my dad, so I knew my dad was taking care of my stepmom, which I understand. But recently my mom and dad have popped into my dreams, so I think they're just making sure I'm okay. And that's kind of how I take it, them checking up on me and me knowing that they're okay. So it just could be D Nice that he knows you're okay and in a good place. Carol goes, I never met my grandfather, just my grandmother. My grandmother on my dad's side, I never met any of my family members on my mom's side, unfortunately. I think I did when I was 6 months old, when I was a baby or something like that. I did go to Korea. But I don't remember it. And then because my mom had passed, I had lost connection to that side. So I have never really I think I met my mom's mom at one point. She came here to visit, but that's about it. I know my mom had 2 brothers and I probably have a bunch of cousins that I have never met. D Nice goes, both my grandfathers passed before I was born. Again, the man I thought was my grandfather, he was dating my grandmother. She loved him. He's the one buried not that far from Matthew Perry. Oh, wow. Carol goes, just remember, Lisa, I'll figure it out. May take me a couple of times, but I'll learn the room again. Wendy goes, my grands died way too soon. I'm sorry, Lisa. All right, guys, any last minute questions before I end this stream? Gunner Girl goes, great stream, Lisa. I love your stories. Good night, everyone. Thank you, Gunner Girl. Matthew goes, thank you. D Dice goes, what color beanie? One last question. What color beanie do you not have? I think I have every color beanie, to be honest with you. I think I have an orange. No, I don't have an orange one because those colors I don't wear. But I probably have every pretty much color that I wear. Julissa, thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Great show. D Dice goes nylon colors. I don't think I have nylon colors or neon colors. Thank you, Carol. Great show, Lisa. Good night, all. All right, guys, I am going to end the stream here. Thank you for joining me on this edition of Grayson Report. I know I kind of went down a rabbit hole. Did something a little different today, but I hope you enjoyed yourself. I will see you on the next one, which will be Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Be there, be squared, stay spooky, guys, and sweet nightmares. Good night, guys, and thank you. Have a good night and a great rest of your week. See you guys Thursday. Good night.